From the 1880s on, there began to be a concern with child saving, white slaving, which was combined kind of concern with the idea that women were being forced in prostitution and that VD was spreading and was infecting people who actually weren't the ones being trafficked. So the worry in many ways was weighted on the side of the men who were being infected. There was a purity movement in the late 19th century that evolved into the protection of girls movement. So let me list some of the assumptions that were powering these movements. The language may have changed and sometimes not, but in fact, many of those concerns are visible in some of the social movements today to control and punish young women. There was an assumption that all girls' sexuality could be, was possibly deviant and out of control, and there was a targeting of girls rather than boys for that. There was a trend, and Hudson School exemplifies this, of separating institutions by age and gender. And this was a reform thing, to take the young people away from being with male and adult female prisoners. They used a cottage system, and this cottage system was actually held up as something really exemplary and ideal. Training consisted mostly of housework, laundry, sewing, and these are things that were themselves both segregated by class, low working class kind of job, and were also segmented by race. There was segregation at the school. From the 1880s on to probably World War II, and in some cases longer, women and girls were targeted for detention. Their constitutional rights were often ignored, and there was a lot of work that went to control sexuality by enforcing laws on females, not men, and involved indefinite sentences and lack of due process. You've probably all heard of the soiled dove plea. Yes? Is that familiar? Oh, okay. It was in 1899, there was a lawyer who stepped into a case of a woman who picked up on a prostitution charge, and he kind of extemporaneously gave this famous speech in which he said that our sex, men, wrecked her once pure life, and she should not be punished for a profession that she did not choose. And then he underlined that the prodigal son is forgiven while the daughter is forever shamed.